Stream is fine. All right, I'm not gonna stress about that. So yesterday I did a stream on TRVL, and basically what I did with TRVL is I kind of gave my thoughts on future price action based on tokenomics. So I think if you haven't watched it, you should watch it, because I think it's really important. And I think a lot of people are now getting involved and interested in TRVL. And so because we're a DAO, and because we want to be a DAO, because everyone wants us to be a DAO, then maximum participation is encouraged if possible. And I can't do it on my own, so I need help. So basically what I was looking at TRVL, and I'm seeing some good signs of strength, like really positive signs. And for me, this is really important, because I don't know if you can see this, but this is the weekly time frame, and I've got the weekly moving average, which is the 50 simple moving average. And look at this, for the first time in a long time. So the last time was April 24, when we had that initial pump in February, and then the price came back to the weekly 50 moving average. And look how the weekly 50 held support for almost 3 weeks, lost it, and then lost it. Yeah, the price tried to get back to it, but it was basically didn't have strength. And now what has happened is, over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, the price has pierced the weekly 50 moving average 4 times on 4 separate occasions. And now, for the first time, the price is trading above the weekly 50 moving average. Yeah, because what's happened with the weekly 50 moving average is that it's taken a dip. And so if I go back 50 bars, we're about to lose these higher values. See that? So 50, this long candle is the 50th close. And then next week, we're going to lose that, lose that, lose that, lose that. So actually what's going to happen is we're losing higher numbers and replacing higher numbers with lower numbers. Yeah, that's what's going. So just last week, we lost this close here, and we replaced it with this close here. And so almost on par. And what's happened now is the 50 moving average has rebalanced its average down to there. And so probably what I'm thinking is we might kind of potentially go up. I don't know, or at the very least go flat. Yeah. So right now the price is trading above the weekly 50 moving average. When I look at the other time frames, the other exchanges, I'm seeing exactly the same behavior. All of the 50 moving averages on the weekly time frame have taken a dip, and now the price is actually trading above the 50 moving average. And I did say that these wicks piercing the moving average were bullish signs, indications, because what you're doing is you're taking liquidity. You know, these big moving averages are good places to sell and to buy on the higher time frame. And so naturally if someone was looking to buy down here or here, then they probably could have just put limit orders on the 50 moving average. Yeah, that would have been a pretty safe trade. And so obviously as the price pierces it, it's taking liquidity. And so over time, the power of that hold becomes more and more diminished. And that's just how it works until eventually you break. Yeah. Well, whereas in this case, it hasn't necessarily broken, simply because the price has now closed into the 50 and now it has reopened above the 50. And I think that's quite normal behavior. That happens quite a lot, where you have a close below and then an open above. And also now in this week, if the price can hold above that 50 weekly moving average, then I think it's going to give a lot of people confidence to buy more. Because if we hold here, then effectively what you're doing is you're buying on support, assuming that this weekly 50 is now flipped from a resistance line to a support line. So I think that's quite a significant sign of strength. And obviously when I'm looking at the volume, this is on Gates. Am I seeing anything interesting? Well, the weekly close yesterday, in my previous stream, someone said that this evening star doji was bearish, and lo and behold, the price actually went up. So like I said, it's very difficult to trade these individual candles on their own, because you need more data, you need more formations, and you need confirmations. Yeah, I think if we were, for a short period of time, we were contemplating a red candle, and that would have looked much worse. And then obviously making a lower low down here would have been much worse. And then obviously even closing underneath the point of control would have been terrible. Hold on a second. So yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that we're showing strength. We're showing strength. Now, I'm still like, despite the fact that we're showing strength, yeah, I do have something that I'm like imagining, yeah, and I'm going to share it with you guys if my charts load. Why is my chart not loading? So annoying. Maybe getting me a bit of a lag, but there it is. When I look at KuCoin, let's find it. If my chart loads, volume, where's the volume? I am seeing something that I'm not sure what to make of it, but we have a little bit of a decreasing volume situation here as the price is going up. Yeah. And I don't really think that matters that much, because even though the volume is decreasing, two things: the price hasn't really gone up that much. So the price has only really gone up from this open to this close about 23%. In the scale of things, that's pretty small when it comes to this token. And also last week's volume was still higher than most of the previous weeks, or at the same level. It was still kind of on par with the average. So even though it looks like it's a decreasing volume, the reality is that we had that crazy candle, that crazy volume skews the data a little bit. But I am just kind of bearing this in mind, and I think we're gonna have to see what happens in this current week, because I'm contemplating a couple of things. And I think this is the thing, like, of course we want the price to go up, but we don't want the price to go up to come back down. That's the thing. Like, this is the thing. Like, I don't just want the price to go up for it to come right back down. That's not what I'm imagining as healthy price action, right? And I think the problem is that we have actually confirmed 9 cents as quite significant resistance in the higher time frame. So when I'm looking at 9 cents, I identified 9 cents a long time ago, and it held. And just because we've tested it once in the last 2 weeks, there's no reason to think that the price is just going to go through it now. Yeah, there's no reason to, like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that. It would require significant strength to do that. Yeah. And then obviously you'd have to back test it for support, for continuation in any case. Yeah. So obviously if we were to suddenly go up and there was enough strength to push the price up, the higher it gets, the more inclined people will be to sell into that rise. And then we have to see what happens, whether it closes above or below. But I think unless we get a crazy strong close, and even if we do get a crazy strong close, I think the inclination will still be for people to sell, to take profit and reaccumulate where the price settles. Yeah, this is the kind of price action I'm contemplating right now when it comes to TRVL. So I think we have some really good signs of healthy signs of strength, but unless we're going to form some kind of high lows flat top triangle here, we don't easily break 9 cents as the price continues to go up. Yeah, I think this would be really powerful. This would be really powerful, and I would love to see this. I would love to see us test that 9 cents mark 3 or 4 times, and for us to be making higher lows, and for us to be getting some kind of consolidation range here, because eventually when we do break, then like I've said before, we're going to get really nice structure, which is going to lay the foundation for the price to never come back down below 9 cents. Yeah, like, so in my mind, this is the best kind of, the healthiest kind of price action to break the 9 cents mark. Yeah, that's kind of what I imagine as healthy price action without going lower. And I am contemplating that we don't go lower, simply because we're just making higher prices. You know, there's more and more interest in this token. The team are obviously in tune with the feedback of the community, and they're making updates regularly, and there's a lot of things coming. There's a lot of anticipation for the future. Sensei is one of the big ones, and then beyond that, you know, you have a lot of upcoming press releases and stuff, and collaborations with other projects. So we're all gearing for that, and I think part of the reason why the price is going up is because people are less inclined to sell in these lows, and actually now what we're seeing is more and more accumulation. And as the price finds acceptance into higher prices, the more and more confident people are going to be to accumulate at higher prices. So in my mind, this is the healthiest higher time frame price action for clearing and breaking through 9 cents. And I think if we were to achieve this, it would be extremely bullish, because you're making a flat top triangle, higher lows, you're taking liquidity from 9 cents, and then when you have a break, you have a nice clean break, and potentially you will expand as far as this whole pattern is concerned. It's basically, the range would be this. That would be your expansion, probably all the way up to 40 cents or so. Yeah, and then it'll get quite volatile, but at least you're in the higher range. You know, at least you've cleared 9 cents. Most people, if they see this kind of price action, aren't going to be in a rush to take profit, I don't think, because no one, if you see this kind of price action, no one is going to be thinking to themselves, the price is coming back down. No one is going to have that in their mind. And therefore what they'll do is, maybe some people will take profit, but then they'll be looking to reaccumulate for the price to go back up after it clears 9 cents. That will be pretty much the future of the price action here. Obviously the timing's all incorrect. This is just an example of what could potentially happen, yeah, down the line. That's one idea that I have in mind. And I think it all depends on how we approach 9 cents. And it all depends on whether every time people sell, how high the higher lows get. So if the higher lows continue, then this is definitely a potential outcome that I'm kind of imagining. But if the other thing that I'm imagining, because you need something to take the price up, you can't. The thing is, there's no derivatives here. We're not going to get a short squeeze. There's no short squeeze here. No one has liquidation. That's not a liquidation level because no one is shorting. Yeah. And that's the difficulty with spot. And so the price isn't going to behave in the same fashion as it might do with Bitcoin, because when you have, so this is the thing, we're making lower highs. And naturally, if people were shorting this drop as the price was declining, every time we made a pivot high, the shorts would have put their invalidation lower and lower and lower. And then you'd have a lot of liquidity gathered above the most recent pivot high, so that if the price did manage to push up again, you get a squeeze. Yeah. And so when people imagine the God candle on Bitcoin, it's not market longs, it's a squeeze. It's because so much liquidity has gathered above these descending highs that eventually when the price gets back to the key level, that all of these shorts get liquidated, and to close their positions, they market long out, market long. Yeah, and you get like a whole bunch of market longs at the highs. That's how the price goes up and stays up, because in effect, shorting in a bull market is very healthy for the price action to go up. You're very healthy. Yeah. This is a conversation to be had, and it's an education. And the more people understand how the price moves, the more they'll understand why it's important that we get traders involved with TRVL in the future, and as soon as possible, really. But you know, we have to have these conversations until people understand the why. The why is really important. So we don't have that privilege. We don't have the privilege of liquidation levels above this previous high. And because we don't have that privilege, the next time the price goes up, we're not going to get a squeeze. The next time the price, we're not going to get a squeeze. So the only way to get above this level now, yeah, is either we do what I suggested and we form some kind of higher low flat top triangle until we finally have a breakout, or we go down. Yeah, we go down first. And that's the other alternative that I'm thinking. I'm thinking it is possible we go up, we fail to go up further than this level, the price is sold into heavily, and we go down for more liquidity. And then we get a lot of people who are sitting on the sidelines waiting to get involved. They've been looking at this token, they've been doing their research, they have a larger sum of capital, they're just waiting to get involved. And for bigger players, they're not going to chase high prices, they're going to wait for lower prices. Yeah. And what bigger players want to see, the smart money, what they want to see is they want to see, technically, they want to see liquidations. And in my mind, if we go up and then come back down, a lot of people are going to start closing their positions, because for whatever reason, they're going to lose hope or whatever, because, you know, a lot of people have still in their mindsets, they want to see moon. They're like moon boys. They want to see the moon. They're only in it for the moon. They don't care about anything else. But you have some smart money who's waiting on the sidelines, waiting to get involved. They're not going to push the price up. So what they will do is they wait for the first big pullback, the first big dip. Yeah, we haven't seen that yet. And so naturally, if the price goes up and it fails to kind of make that kind of behavior that I suggested, you'll get a sell-off. You'll get the price closed a bit lower. People will get disheartened and they'll start closing. The small fish are going to get eaten up. And then you could get like a V shape. Like actually, that's what I'm imagining, and that would suit the ADA fractal that I'm tracking and tracing as well. So I'm contemplating two kind of future price actions, and there could be more. There could be other ideas that are in play right now. I have no idea. I think the other idea that could happen, which is going to really annoy the hell out of everyone, is the price to like literally do nothing for the next few months, just to go flat. It could also happen. Maybe you would get some kind of something like this, like something, you know, like this, just really nothing. We get some kind of higher time frame, equal triangle, lower highs, higher lows, until eventually sometime in the future we do get some kind of breakout. Yeah, that's the other kind of price action I'm contemplating. And it's all about whether people sell or buy, and where they sell and buy, and how much profit they take, and whether they hodl or not, or whether people are accumulating to hodl for the higher time frame or not, or whether people sell at the lows or not, and whether, you know, and where bigger players, whales or whatever, are looking to pick up the price, you know, because naturally there's a very liquid market, and it wouldn't be difficult for the price to go down quickly. It wouldn't be difficult, or it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much selling. And the selling doesn't have to come from one or two individuals. It's a sentiment. It's a market sentiment. It could just be like 4 days of negative sentiment for whatever reason, which takes the price down, or everyone selling at the same time, or and lack of interest to hold the price up, and suddenly you can just suddenly see a real drop. And naturally, people with large sums of capital on the sidelines are going to be looking to get involved at those prices. And what they will do is they will buy the price up like a whale and gobble it up. Then you'll see some kind of V-shape recovery, and then the price will really rally then. And the whales will start pumping the price, and then the little fish will get swallowed up, and they'll just have to chase the price like they always do. And so there's a lot of kind of ideas of what I have in mind of the price, and obviously there could be other ideas too, but I think at the moment it's looking quite healthy. And my preferred price action is what I said. This is my preferred price action. Let's just make a flat top triangle. Let's just keep on pushing these highs, and let's have a nice healthy breakout like that. In my mind, that would be the most preferred price action. I think that would be preferred because a lot of small players won't get gobbled up because they're accumulating. They're not going to get shaken out. And I think that's my preferred price action, because in the future, you're going to have really nice market structure created in this rise, which is gonna hold the price up if the price comes back down to go back up. Yeah. And so in my mind, this is the healthiest type of price action that we could possibly consider. And obviously it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be that frustrating for people, because as long as the price doesn't go down, but I don't think anyone's going to get frustrated. Yeah. As long as people's portfolio continues to increase in value, why would you get frustrated? Like, it makes no sense. It doesn't really, I don't really care about other tokens and whether they're going to the moon or not. Ever since I've been streaming, the price has only gone up. Yeah, I started streaming on the 6th of December, and the 6th of December, the price was about 33 cents, and that's 3.9. And ever since my gate event in London, which was the 7th of October, that's basically when I started to tell people you need to start buying. that was at 2.3 cents, you know. So if anyone listens to me since October and started buying TRVL, they'd already be up about 50%. I think that's okay, you know, like you can't be upset about that, right? But I think the problem is that people keep on looking at other markets and other tokens and keep on imagining that they're losing because they're not in these other tokens and they're in this token. And for some reason, they have this idea that for some reason, this token is not going to perform, or this token is going to go to zero, or this token doesn't have the same kind of future potential. And I think that analysis is absolutely wrong, simply because the way the crypto capital markets work is there's a rotation of capital. And eventually what will happen is this will pick up enough interest that people will liquidate their large positions on Solana or whatever, Injective, and they'll start pumping and investing and pushing the price on this, and it will happen. We just have to be patient. Now, in my mind, this is the most preferred price action because I'd love to get back into the higher range. 9 cents is the mark, and if we can get back into the higher range, we can start putting some volume in the higher range, and hopefully by the time we'll get some more people involved, they'll be buying higher prices, they're getting involved at higher prices, and that will just consolidate this lower range as a really strong level of support. So if the price in the future ever did try to get back in, it will clearly reject, because then people will see that as a massive discount in the future, and they won't allow that to happen, because people will always like to buy tokens at discount. But the only way that people perceive discount is when they see the price trading higher. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm imagining for the future. All right, I think that's it, huh? I'm ready to go. I've got a lot of stuff to do. All right, any questions? Anyone? Right, I'm gonna go. I hope you have a lovely Monday.